First thing I do when I climb my stand is bow my head and thank the man. And while I'm waiting on daybreak, I feel my heart race. Up here on Whitetail Ridge, we know how to hunt, we know how to fish. We love our country, we love this land, and we're proud to be free. From the ground we plow, the stands we hang, we believe a man should pull his weight. We know what real hunting really is. Up on Whitetail Ridge.
Hello, Gunnar. Welcome to the podcast. I don't know if you remember me or not. We've met a few times at the outdoor show, which I know you meet a lot of people. I was at the Ohio one last year. We talked a little bit there. But anyway, introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are. If they ever come across the Hungry Huntsman on Instagram, like who you are and kind of like how you got started.
Yeah. So I'm Gunnar Emberg. I go by the Hungry Huntsman. I am a traveling personal chef. I specialize in wild game and wild game butchering as well. I do all sorts of work for various clients, basically from, Bo, actually, he's the one that really got me started here. Ended up cooking for him, and then I walked out of there saying, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And I walked into work the next day, quit my job, and went to be a butcher for a year just to learn how to process venison. And then ever since, it's just been networking and, personal chefing all over the country. I actually just got back from about a 3-week-long trip in Wyoming where I work for a nonprofit too. We were out in the wilderness in Wyoming doing kids resiliency courses for like teaching them outdoor survival skills, teaching them archery, I was doing primitive cooking classes, stuff like that. We do everything from, hunting events to courses like that all over the country at this point. So.
Wow. I listened to you, I guess it was maybe last year that you were on Bo's podcast, and you were sharing a little bit about your veteran background. First of all, thank you for your service. But what did being in the military, did that help you? Did you start cooking back then, or?
Yeah, so it was funny, man. I don't have any certified training in cooking by any means, right? So growing up, my dad didn't want me to watch cartoons a whole lot, right? So what I would do is I would watch Food Network basically because the History Channel was so boring at that point for me.
Right.
So moving forward, going into the Navy and everything, I just had to learn to cook for myself because I was a medic too. So we got into fitness and nutrition and meal planning, meal prepping, stuff like that. So I just had to learn to cook for myself there and kind of refine and develop those skills. And then once I got out, I just kind of kept going because I loved it so much. Because some of my favorite times in the Navy were just around the grill with all my buddies. It was hey, those are the better times that I remember. We're all drinking beer, grilling steak, stuff, spending stupid amounts of money on just lobster and steak and whatever we could get our hands on the grill, basically. So I just kept going and kept cooking, and now it's evolved into this, basically.
Yeah. So what came first for you, hunting, cooking, or butchering?
So really it was hunting. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up hunting, not a whole ton by any means, right? Didn't really hunt archery at all. I hunted, first couple of days of rifle season, basically. Maybe I'd go out for turkey, maybe do a little fishing. Nothing too nuts, right? I was more involved in a lot of sports and stuff like that growing up, so I didn't really get the chance, but we still went out, and then once I got into the military, I had one of my bosses actually, one of the first weeks I got to my first command, he was like, hey, I'm going up to a bow shop, do you want to go buy a bow? And I was still kind of boot camp rich, had all my money saved up from training and everything like that, so went and bought my first bow and kind of fell in love with it. Turns out I was a natural at it.
Oh wow.
So fell in love with it, and where I learned to archery hunt was the state of Illinois. And we were in some
that's a good place to learn
stuff. Yeah, yep. So it was, I saw a lot of different country. I saw a lot of ag, a lot of really thick stuff, a lot of kind of timber. I kind of learned how to hunt a lot of terrain there. So when I came back to Pennsylvania, it was easily adaptable into these, larger woods that we're dealing with up here. But it was, similar terrain features and stuff like that.
I gotcha. Let's see. Next question is, where does your passion for wild game cooking come from?
Man, that one really kind of started in the Navy as well. Just like I started cooking for myself mainly because we wanted to eat healthier, right? We wanted to control what was in our diets, right?
Right.
And like me and my buddy went really far as to like make our own supplement blends, like ordering the raw formula supplements in and mixing, our own mixes and stuff. And like we were doing the ketogenic diet before it was even a thing. And like I was down to 1 gram of carb a day. Like we were
Wow.
really, really into this stuff. So fat like that's where I really just wanted to eat as nutritionally clean and sound as possible. And I was like, wild game is, really one of the cleanest meats out there you can get, especially if it comes from the woods where there's no ag.
Right.
So that kind of just tied in hand with like, hey, I already archery hunt. I love to cook and eat clean. Why don't I just combine the two and hunt more and kill more stuff and eat cleaner all year round?
Okay. Yeah. When it comes to like cooking meat, like so a little bit on my background, I didn't grow up hunting. There was a guy in my church when I was a teenager that he was a true Pennsylvanian. He trout fished, he deer hunted, all that type of stuff. So he kind of got me into it. I grew up more on like the Lancaster County side of Pennsylvania, so it's all ag over there.
Yep.
And so when I killed my first deer, like we butchered it and everything ourselves, and I have all this meat, and I'm like my parents, they've never cooked deer meat before, so I had to experiment a lot. And one big thing I found out, like whether you're cooking like a roast or a deer tenderloin, is that like venison dries out really quick, right? Because it doesn't have that fat. So that's one thing that I had to teach myself over the years. It's only been, let's see, probably 13, 14 years I've been hunting. So I've learned a lot in that. Like I'm no good griller by any means, but like I've learned a lot with that. This year I started cooking duck meat a lot, learning how to deal with that meat and how like that cook. It's like chicken, like it cooks really fast. You can burn it really fast. So like with your area of expertise with cooking wild game and stuff like that, what is one other than what I said, what is one common mistake do you think hunters make a lot when grilling wild game, particularly venison or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, really, people try to me, overdo it to get the gaminess flavor out of it, right? They're always marinating it. They're always doing this and that and this and that. And for me, it's on it like it's really just lean beef. If you break it down into a comparable meat, it's like cooking a very, very lean steak from beef, right?
Right.
If you learn how to cook with that kind of stuff, cooking with venison is so much easier, right? And people tend to think too, like, oh, I have to cook it till well done or whatever. And it's like, no, you don't at all. Cook it to medium rare and it's going to be delicious. Yeah, exactly. Like I cook mine personally, like when I do my back straps and stuff, I cook it to 120 degrees internal temp, right?
Okay.
The carryover from there, it'll go up to about 125, and I find that that's almost the perfect like bite and temperature for venison backstrap, essentially. A lot of people overdo it, or they'll try to, like marinate it in too long of something, and it just kind of ends up being not that great, or this gaminess flavor still comes out because their post-kill process wasn't what it should have been, and there's now just bad flavors all throughout it.
Let's dive into that for a second. I'm glad you brought that up. What's something like in the field you can't get your deer straight to your truck and sometimes I have the ease of throwing it in the truck, gutting it in the field, throwing it in the truck, taking it home, skinning it. If you're, say, like an hour or two from home, like you don't have that luxury of doing that. So, I mean, some people I know pack it out, stuff like that. But like, what's something that someone can do, even if they do have the ease of throwing it into the truck and taking it home? What's something they can do in the field to get that meat prepared, ready, so it doesn't have that gaminess, so it doesn't have, which honestly, out of all the deer that I've ever killed, I don't think I've ever tasted one that was gamey. I don't know if it's just because I hung it up long enough. Like that's what I've always been told is the longer you hang it, the best it's going to be. Which these early season deer, they got me tough because it's 60 degrees outside, and so
Yep.
thankfully, I have some friends down the road that just have they have an old refrigerator. They took all the shelves out, and so we'll just
Yep.
saw it in half and just throw it in there and let it sit there. Last year, I think I had dough set in there for a week or two, and that was the
Yeah.
best tasting dough I've ever had.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I was ranting. Back to my question. What's something that you can give advice to people preparing the meat?
Yeah. Yep. So my biggest thing, right, is part of hunting, right? You're gonna have to get prepared, right? Like you make sure all your shit's in your truck. You make sure like you know where you're going, you know your pin, you know your trail, everything like that, right? That's where most people stop being prepared. After that, they're like, I have a knife and gun gloves and I'll deal with it after. And it's like, no, dude, if you're going out to get meat to eat, you should be prepared to take care of it as well, right? So rule number one for me is bring a cooler if you don't have the luxury to get it straight into a cooler at home, right? Or a fridge at home, right? Now, what like that's kind of all the way back at the truck, right? Now, starting way up in the field, post kill, get it gutted immediately, right? If you have to quarter it to get it out, do so, but keep it clean, right? You want to get that skin off of that as quick as possible. Now, I don't mean like, go up and start skinning it right in the field and haul it out that way, right? Like, I mean,
This ain't an
within
elk hunt.
reason. Right. Yeah. Right. I'm not like it's within reason for everything, right? Because there's a lot of variability, right? But the overall theme is we want to get that meat as cool as possible, as quick as possible, right? Now, if you don't have the luxury of getting it home and getting it into a cooler, like skinning it, hanging it in your garage and skinning it and throwing it in the fridge, right? If you have to like get it on ice in a cooler to take it somewhere, to deal with it later, the way I recommend doing that is buying bags of ice and putting them down, right? Don't even open them up. Just leave them in the bag and put them down. And then take a black trash bag and put that over top and even throw a piece of plywood in there if you want to, right? You want to set that meat on the trash bag, right? You don't want it to get in contact with the ice, right? Because the water can A, help transmit bad flavors if there is any, right? B, it now gives a pathway for any negative bacteria to go, it can now get spread over everything rather than having to work its way somewhere solely localized on the meat.
Okay.
That way you can get it extra cold, right, and still keep it dry because the goal is cold and dry. It's not cold and wet. Now,
Gotcha.
yeah, people say throw it in a cooler of ice for, a week or whatever, and you can get all the blood out or whatever and get the gaminess out. Really, all you're doing is forcing water inside of that meat and waterlogging it now.
Yeah.
And it tends to not cook nearly as good. The flavor is really, really diminished, right? Because now all that meat is just absorbing all that water. And honestly, kind of like you said too, like you've never really had a deer that's been super gamey. The ones that are the bucks that are in rut. Those are the ones that really taste like crap. Outside of that, if you have a great post-kill process, you can make all your deer taste the same. And I do it with deer across the country, right? I can make mule deer taste like whitetail from Pennsylvania, basically, all because of your post-kill process, getting it nice and cool. Now, yeah, if you were to take a steak by steak, unseasoned, grill them up, you might taste a difference in them, right? But honestly, you can't tell what half of the stuff is I cook because I can make it all taste very similar in flavor,
Right. Yeah, I was in Indiana bow hunting 3 years ago with some friends, and they had killed a doe, and where they were hunting was like 2 hours from home. So what they did was they gutted it, and then they went to the dollar store, bought a bag of ice, and threw it in the chest cavity.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, like me being a PA boy, it's like we gotta get this thing skinned as quick as we can and let it hang.
Yep.
We get to the dude's house, he throws the ice out, hangs the deer up, and there's like water dripping out of the chest cavity, and they left the skin on for like 2 days. And I was like, I'm not eating your deer meat, brother. Like,
no. So I'll break it down a little scientifically for you too, right? So that hide is the deer's sole insulation for the entire season, right? They don't grow a lot of fat intermuscularly, or even when it is winter, they go through rut a lot, so they have to build their fat stores back up come December, which is really hard to do in a lot of the parts of the country. So, and like deer's hair is hollow as well, just to trap more air, like insulation. So the longer that hide stays on that meat, the more it's going to stay warm, right? Now, bacterial growth starts to happen right around like 43, 45 degrees and above, right?
Sure.
Well, when you kill a deer, it's 90 something degrees basically. you need to get that lower as quick as possible. Anywhere from 90 all the way down to that 45. I like to get my stuff to 40 degrees or below, right? And now this is coming from like some food standard
Right.
safety stuff. Um, but like anywhere in there, it can still grow bacteria and still give negative flavors. And believe me, guys, I love the guys that say, oh, like never have any recalls on wild game, never have any all this stuff, right? And it's like, no, dude, there's parasites all through that stuff. Like there is bacteria all through it. They are a wild animal dealing with dead things all the time. The water that we're not supposed to drink, like running water in the
Yep.
woods, that's what they drink. They're full of Giardia. They're full of all of this kind of stuff. Cooking it kills that stuff, but you need to have a good post-kill process. You need to have a good like everything processed to make sure that there's no bacteria growing to give it negative flavors,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite wild game recipes that you'd recommend to someone that says they can't stand venison? That's for instance, they hear venison. Like I've had it where I've invited people over to my house to eat. They're like, oh, what do we eat? And I'm like, oh, I got a deer roast in the crock pot. Oh no, I can't eat that. Like, what's something which like I sometimes too like I'll not tell them. I'm like, oh, it's just a roast, and they eat it, and then afterwards I'm like, hey, I was like, that was deer, just so you know. And they're like, oh man, like that was. I didn't want to say nothing. I thought that might have been, which I'm like, no, you didn't. But what's a recipe you like to cook?
Man, for me, for someone that like something like that, if you're intimidated by the flavor or idea of venison or anything, doing something like you said, right? Like doing a roast, but do a really, really flavorful gravy with it and put it over mashed potatoes, right?
There you go.
You want to make it look like a roast beef, basically. You don't want to make it look like some weird venison thing, right? Now, one of my absolute favorite things to cook is just taking a hunk of backstrap that's 8 to 10 to 12 inches long. Like I keep my backstraps whole for the most part, or I'll cut them in half.
Yeah, same.
Season it up and grill it whole, and just use a good meat thermometer, right? Take it to 120, let it rest, slice it up real nice, and people won't even have any idea it's nothing but beef, basically.
Yeah, my wife likes to make fajitas out of the backstrap. She'll cut them up in cubes and make little fajitas and stuff out of it. Yeah, I have yet to try one that's like very gamey. I've had more difficulty, like I've had some bad bear meat. Bear meat. And I'm like, but
yeah, see, bear, so there's a difference, right? So deer are mainly good herbivores, right? Like they're going to eat mainly whatever, twigs and berries they can find for the most part, right? Now deer, they also need to eat upwards of 9 pounds of forage a day, right? That's a lot of food, right? For deer. Now imagine 9 pounds of leaves, right? Like you go buy a bag of lettuce, it's like half a pound. You know what I mean? Like they're going to eat a lot of that stuff. That's why they're so drawn to apples and corn and acorns and stuff, because they're way more nutritious than just the leaves and grass on the ground, right? Now bear will eat whatever they find to survive, whether it's dead, whether they kill it, whether it's a berry, whether it's some nasty foul thing, and all of that flavor gets imparted right back into the meat, basically. And that's like, I live pretty close to a like garbage dump. There's one like 5 miles as a crow flies, right? So I won't go over there and hunt bear, because I know that they're all going to taste like garbage, human garbage for the most part, and that's not something I want to eat, Whereas the ones right next to my house, there's like a hidden cornfield right by my house that gets planted solely for them. They'll go in and mess the whole thing up, basically. I know those guys are nothing but corn-fed bears, so they're extra fatty and extra delicious. So I will hunt those ones,
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Well, we're gonna switch gears a little bit from food to talking about gear and stuff. I know you're with Timber Ninja. How did you get connected with those guys?
Yeah, so Bo and I worked together on quite a bit of stuff, and he ended up needed some help, and I had some free time, and he reached out. So that's kind of how that worked. I took on events for them, starting to manage all that kind of stuff, and really like I do a little bit more behind the scenes too, like some product evaluation. Like I'll run down to the warehouses, check those out, do a couple other things. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been following Bo for a while, and then last year I talked to him about maybe like helping out a little bit and offering a discount. I've done some advertisements and stuff on our YouTube channel for them, and just advertising the saddles and the sticks and stuff like that. But do you saddle hunt a lot?
Yep.
or is it mainly, or I guess I bet you're really busy cooking for a lot of different camps and stuff like that, or
Yeah, so right now I'm starting to scale the business, so my hunting time is going to go down. Over the previous years, I've made a point to take off all of archery season to saddle hunt, right? So, um, something to like kind of how I more so got involved with Timber Ninja in an indirect way, right? Like I was cooking for Bill down in Alabama, Bill from Spartan Forge. I was down
Bill
there, and
Thompson.
Jason ended up being on that hunt. And Jason and I kind of hit it off because Jason kind of had a culinary background as well, and like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So him and I kind of hit it off. And I stayed involved with him a little bit, talking with him throughout the years, and then Bo finally hit me up when Bo joined and everything. But so my hunting arc too, like after I had gotten out of the Navy, I had came back to PA and was, hunting and stuff, but I was starting to walk further distances to go in, right? And hauling climbers just wasn't my thing. I was sick of hauling all that weight and gear on my back, right? And I was
Yep.
just like, man, I'm done with this. I left my climber in the woods and I hunted out of a chair, right? Just a ground chair for 4 years with no blind, nothing, dude. So like I really had to learn how to hunt. Like my woodsmanship skills elevated significantly at that time.
Yeah.
And then, like, right soon as I think in year 4, there is right when I met Jason and I saw his products because I was like, I'm very particular on my products, right? Like, they have to be to my standards because I'm super hard on gear. Like, I will break brand new gear within a month or two if I'm using it hard, right? So once I saw his stuff and got hands on it, I was like, oh man, I love this stuff. And that was like all the thought, all the innovation, how sturdy they were, just everything about it made me be like, yeah, this is a brand I can follow right now too. And then it just so happens that, hey, one of my best dudes that I work for ended up, starting to work with them. And then he roped me into it too. So it's been a cool path,
Yeah.
being involved with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I did a podcast with Jason last month, and I love talking to him because he's so gear nerdy, and so it's
Yeah.
really cool to listen to how he explained the way he came up with the designs for a lot of the stuff that they have built, and here's some stuff that he's been working on. So, what would you say that your favorite gear? Whether it's cooking gear, hunting gear, what's your favorite gear that you like to use, that you like kind of nerd out on?
Yeah, man. So I am big on backpacks, right? Like, and now the reason for that is like I was a medic in the Navy. Like I
Right.
had a 100-pound med pack that was all dialed in, all organized. So like that's how I run my pack now. Like I can tell you what's in every single pocket in every position, and like I can reach in the dark and find everything, right? So I'm a nerd on backpacks, and like they're gonna feel good, they're gonna fit good, they're gonna function good. Like I will modify the heck out of my own bags just to make them work, right? Outside of that, like I'll be dead honest with you, the kunai platform is the biggest game changer for me. So I recurve hunt too, right?
Okay.
And just that thing alone has now became my seat for in the woods if I ever need to like just throw one up quick and ground hunt again.
Right.
It's my platform for saddle hunting, right? The way I run my backpack, I can run it as a mini meat shelf too, and if you tie everything up right. So like hauling a deer out if I have to, you can run that thing as a mini meat shelf using the bottom post basically. You can tie it up to the top, right?
Yeah. And as we saw
That
from
thing,
Johnny last year, it can be great for hanging deer.
yeah, dude. Actually, I ended up ordering like a little pulley system to be able to do that in the woods.
That's cool. That's cool.
Because like I have one that goes in the hitch of my truck, but it's so cumbersome and a pain that I just want to be able to throw something up on the tree and do it. So I have a little pulley system coming just to be able to hang my deer off that thing.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it is so versatile for what it is.
Yeah, I want to try that this year. I got a couple closer. Normally I do like a far away out of state hunt. But this year I'm just kind of honing it in some local states, maybe West Virginia, Ohio, possibly Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I wanna try it on some of them out of state. We're gonna do some camping and stuff like that, hunts and stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
But
yeah.
What's your favorite? Actually, I'm gonna jump back to what you said about backpacks. I just thought of this. 'Cause I'm looking for a new backpack this year too. So what backpack do you run?
Yep. So this is actually the first year I'm getting a brand new one, right? It's going to be from No Surrender Gear. It's called their Paradigm 25 pack.
You said No Surrender?
Yep. No Surrender Gear. So what drew me to it was they use the same buckle system that we use at Timber Ninja, that Fidlock style.
I love that.
They use that as a closure for their backpack. So that like caught my attention. I went and I dove into it, and they have some really, really good functionality built into this thing, and I like how it opens and everything. So that's what I'm going to run. In the previous years, I've been running a Slumberjack Hone backpack. And then I've been running it was actually the backpack that Bo helped kind of design from Sitka, the older model of, I think it was the Tool Bucket, right?
You said it was
I think
Lumberjack. What was the rest of it?
Hone, Hone.
Okay.
Yep. It's a very large pack, but it's a very open pack, but I like it for how well the kunai attaches right to the outside of it. It was very, very good for that. Yep.
Okay.
Because it has a little it's like a little pocket sleeve on the outside that extends with 4 straps basically, and the kunai and the sticks fit right down in there.
Oh, nice.
Like it tightened all the straps down, and it was just perfect, like silent, tight in there. Wasn't having to like build my own straps or anything like that. So.
Okay. Are they pretty pretty budget friendly?
Yeah, I think the Hone is. I think honestly it was like right around 150 bucks, not too crazy.
That's really.
And then the Paradigm that I just ordered, I want to say it was like between 2 and 250, but it was a pre-order, so it was a little bit discounted. But they offer a 19-liter version of it as well. Okay. It's just a little bit smaller, so like earlier season hunts. I know that you could do all season hunts too out of it if you load it out right. That one they keep in stock year round though. So that one I believe is like the 160, 180 mark on that.
Okay. That's not bad. Okay. No. Yeah, I used to run like the old I guess it was Realtree Field Line or whatever, and they were never geared for carrying sticks or platforms or anything like that. I mean, I had it cinched down good, but Jason's actually sending me the ultimate because him and I were talking. He was telling me about the new camo patterns are coming out. And, I was just joking with him. I was like, hey, can I trade my old one in for the Mossy Oak Bottomland? He's like, oh, I'll hook you up. So I'm getting the the ultimate. But I was looking at it the other day, and it had the mud flap where you can carry your sticks and stuff like that. So that would probably help me minimize a lot on my backpack too, just having the kunai on the backpack.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Being able to throw that there and putting the sticks down below. And the nice thing too is the C2 sticks are a smaller version compared to the C1s. Okay. You know, they're only an 18-inch overall. So they're not really going to stick out past you too much and get caught on a lot of stuff. Nice. Whereas the old C1s, they were a 20-inch stick and a 24-inch. So they stuck out a little bit further, and they get stuck on like, you know, twigs and trees and stuff like that. Or like if you ran the cable aiders, they get caught on stuff. So these new C2s really fit nicely right around you too.
These are the ones that came out like last year, correct? The C2s?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Yeah, yep. I have those. Yep. I love those things, man. I was hanging trail cameras yesterday, and I took one with me because I like to get my cameras up a little higher, and from people like stealing them and stuff on public. Yeah. And I ran out of room. I have just like a regular like scouting backpack that doesn't have buckles or anything on it. So I just walked around carrying one stick, and I felt like I wasn't even carrying anything. Like it was just so light. So I love those things, and with the glow in the dark too, like that really helps climbing in the morning or even climbing down at night and stuff. I really like them a lot.
Yeah, they're nice sticks, man. And that, speaking of, you know, like lightweight, you know, I was doing the math when the new mini kunai releases, right? Like if you're a guy that runs 3 sticks and 8ers and a mini kunai and the nano saddle, you're gonna be right around the like 7-8 pound mark to get 20 feet up in the tree, you know, and that's just insanely lightweight for that kind of setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, like I'm gonna probably get the mini kunai. I had the regular one last year, and I just didn't like having the big I mean, I like having a big platform, but I just didn't like carrying it in just because how big it was. This other platform I used to use 2 years ago, it was just small enough that I could slip it in my backpack, like in one of the pockets and stuff. And I think that's what the mini kunai will probably be perfect for that too, if I don't end up getting one with buckles or anything like that.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why we came out with the mini kunai too. We had a lot of customer feedback on that. So we kind of listened and it was like, hey, you know, a lot of guys want this smaller. Let's come up with a smaller, more saddle hunting friendly version of it, more so than the hybrid stand. Yeah. And naturally we're going to be coming up with accessories for it, like sleeves, protectors, all that kind of stuff. Nice. To mate things to other things. So, you know, be on the lookout for that in the future. But that is what the mini kunai is designed for, is really just throw it right in your backpack and you don't have to worry about anything but your sticks on the outside.
Nice. I was talking to Jason. I was like, I really need you guys to come out with the backpack. And he's like, well, it's in the works, so we'll see. I mean,
Yeah, it's in the
I know
works,
the
man.
turkey one's out, but that don't really help me deer
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah,
But
we've had a couple designs, and before the hurricane, we had one that was really, kind of almost done, but it came back a little too expensive. But we have some stuff in the works for backpacks. We have a lot of stuff in the works right now.
oh,
So
I'm sure.
yeah.
I guess we got a little sample of it last fall when the hand warmers and the boot covers came out and all that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I bet.
Yep.
I think you guys sold out of them real quick at the outdoor show, didn't you? The boot
Yeah,
covers.
we hardly had any to sell at the outdoor show. Yeah, that's how quick they sold. We had 2 restocks on those, and they both sold out within
That's
about 2
awesome.
weeks. Yeah, those things. And now, so we are getting a restock. I believe we're gonna restock the website next month in August. Um, and the new design on the boot covers, it's an upgraded design this year. We
Oh,
moved
nice.
to a magnetic closure on those,
Okay.
and they're gonna be really, really nice. I mean, like the first ones were awesome. These ones are even better. So
Nice. Looking
yeah.
forward to it. Now you said, I think we were talking, I've seen some of your videos too, that you're trying to start a thing for veterans, right? For cooking and
Yeah.
stuff. You want to talk a little bit about that? Plug
Yeah,
that in.
absolutely, man. Yeah, so what I'm working on now, right? Like my private chef life, like we're doing good there. I'm actually starting to scale that back to spend more time with the family because I travel a lot, right? Like I was just out for a month. Basically from October through February last year, I was home a total of 6 weeks, right?
Oh,
Like
wow.
that's pretty rough when you got 2 kids and a wife at home. So
Yeah.
we're working on them coming with me. What I'm starting to do now though is like I'm a veteran myself, right? And I see the life that I've developed for myself, right? Like I don't work for anybody. I work for my own amount of time. You know what I mean? Like I get to be home, be a dad all the time. I get to do kind of fun jobs that take me awesome places, right?
Right.
So now I'm going to focus on starting to help other veterans do that as well. Start
Maybe.
their own personal chef business, right? Build a life that they can kind of control. But in doing so, I'm going to end up building my own team of Hungry Huntsman chefs, essentially.
That's
To
awesome.
where now we're going to specialize in, like hunting lodge specialties, because I work all the way from, hunting lodges all the way up to like ultra high net worth people. So we're going to have a nice range, and it's all going to be a veteran based team, basically, that I know they're going to be ass kickers. I know they're going to be hard chargers. Like, we're going to get some cool stuff done, and it's going to be awesome. And that's going to also turn into, some stuff working with the nonprofit too that I work for, like doing some high end events out in the wilderness and stuff like that. So we have a lot of stuff in the works right there. But right now is, we're beginning that coaching phase, starting to get all the guys in. So a lot of people, you'll see a lot of stuff coming from me on social media about, coaching programs and everything like that.
Yeah.
But that is the goal. Is I want to help as many veterans as possible right now, because that's really fulfilling work for me, right? Like I
Absolutely.
absolutely love helping people. That's why I was a medic, to help heal people. That's why I cook now too, to keep my body healthy, and that's why I want to, teach other people how to cook and eat healthy, just to keep themselves happy and going and everything like that, to live the kind of life that everybody wants to live.
That's awesome. Now, do you have a YouTube channel at all? I can't remember if I
Not
saw
right
one.
now, but that is in the works. Like we're starting to bank content on that. Like it's so like I do my own thing, right? And I travel and stuff. The wife and kids are going to come with me, so the YouTube channel is going to be mainly focused on like our travels, our camper builds. Like we're looking at doing a big school bus conversion a couple years down the road from now too. Like it's going to be a big, because we're going to end up homeschooling on the road and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So it's a big lifestyle. It'll have a lot of Hungry Huntsman content in there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff coming out here in the works soon.
That's awesome. I hope there's a cookbook coming out soon.
Oh, there's going to be multiple of those coming out, man. Yeah.
Well, I got your seasoning a while back, and I use it all the time. So.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. I have a couple other ones in the work right now too, and then we're also working on a custom line of like freeze dried meals through my manufacturer.
That's
as well,
awesome.
On Point Adventure Foods. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yep.
Well, Jason, I don't know why I said Jason. Gunnar, thank you for coming on. Jason was on my mind. We were talking about him. But Gunnar, thank you for coming on. Go ahead and plug yourself in if you got any your socials or other than Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook, just the Hungry Huntsman. That's what I'm on there as both. So you guys can find me there. You can find my seasoning Ricochet rub over at On Point Adventure Foods too. They manufacture that and sell that for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Gunnar.
Absolutely, my man.